It's very unfortunate that this scam has taken place, and it is nothing new. With the BJP government at the center,
10 साल में मोदी सरकार ने पेपर लीक और धांधली से करोड़ों युवाओं का भविष्य बर्बाद किया।
There is manipulation of the markets, manipulation of the elections, now manipulation with the future of the kids. And the National Testing Agency has shown how incompetent it is and how manipulative it can be. With how can you have 67 students getting the first rank and also from one particular institute, and how can you in the NEET exam get 719 or 718 marks? And what makes it more suspicious is that the results were announced 10 days before the schedule during the elections. See, it is a very serious issue where you are manipulating and literally manipulating the future of the students who are an asset to the country and the effort they have put in. And this requires a thorough investigation, and the guilty should be brought to book.
Widespread manipulation occurred in the NEET 2024 exams as evidenced by the results. Many students immediately raised concerns about potential fraud. To clarify the details, we analyzed the situation from the basics. It has been alleged that the ruling government has jeopardized the future of countless students who worked tirelessly to achieve their dreams of becoming doctors. Many poor parents took loans to support their children's aspirations, and several students tragically committed suicide following the release of the results. This gross injustice demands an immediate investigation, punishment for the culprits, and remedies for the affected students. Let's take a look of overview of this NEET. The National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test is a nationwide medical entrance exam conducted by the National Testing Agency since its establishment in 2017. The exam comprises multiple choice questions covering physics, chemistry, zoology, and botany. There are 50 questions per subject, with a maximum of 45 questions considered for valuation. Each correct answer earns 4 marks, while each incorrect answer incurs 1 mark penalty. The maximum possible score is 720. Students mark their answers on an OMR sheet, which is evaluated by the computer to avoid the human error. The exam is available in English and 12 regional languages, and students have 3 hours and 20 minutes to answer 180 questions. Now let's look at the unusual patterns in this NEET 2024 results. Last year, only 2 students scored full marks of 720 and achieved the first rank. The second rank holder scored 716, having answered 179 questions correctly and skipped 1. If the student had answered the skipped question incorrectly, the score would have been 715, tying with the 7 other students. Thus, scores of 717, 718 or 719 are purely impossible. In NEET 2022, the top score was 715, reflecting a similar pattern. Now, in NEET 2024 results, this year, 23.3 lakh students took the exam on May 5. Although the official result date was June 14, the results were quietly released on June 4, coinciding with the Lok Sabha results. Students were shocked and voiced their concerns online. A notable difference in 2024 results is the omission of marks. Shockingly, 67 students scored 720 out of 720 despite the question paper having the same difficulty level as the previous year. Reverse calculations by students revealed theoretically impossible scores like 719 and 718. Now, what are the anomalies? Anomalies emerged when examining the results by the exam centers. 8 students from the Jhajjar, Haryana center scored 720, 719 and 718 marks. 7 of those students had only first names, raising suspicions. Students and coaching institutes questioned the NTA about the plausibility of scores like 719. In response to the allegations, the NTA issued a press release explaining that grace marks were awarded due to the time loss and an ambiguous physics question. What is this grace marks controversy? The NTA cited writ petitions filed by NEET 2024 candidates before various high courts regarding loss of exam time at 6 centers. They decided to award grace marks to 1,563 students from these centers, claiming up to 100 grace marks were given due to English question papers being provided to Hindi medium students. Now, what are the questions that are raising on this? How long does it take to realize the mistake for both students and teachers? A few seconds, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes? Why did this issue occur only at 6 centers? And how did they determine the time lost for each student? Why wasn't extra time given to compensate for the lost time if the issue was genuine? Now, impact of the grace marks was brilliantly explained by Alak Pandey. Watch this video.
नीट 2024 में एनटीए का सबसे बड़ा राज मैं आपको विद प्रूफ इस वीडियो में आप दिखाता हूं। ये एक बच्चा है या बच्ची है जिसके ओएमआर शीट को मैं आपके सामने दिखा रहा हूं। इस ओएमआर से कैलकुलेट करोगे तो इसके 368 नंबर आएंगे। पेपर कोड भी मेंशन्ड है, बाकी डिटेल्स हटा रहे हैं बच्चे की प्रिवेसी को बचाने के लिए। तो यहां से इसके 368 नंबर आ रहे हैं और ये रहा एनटीए द्वारा जारी किया गया इसका नीट का रिजल्ट। यहां पे इसके 453 नंबर आ रहे हैं, यानी कुल 85 नंबर का इसे ग्रेस मिला या कैसे हासिल हुआ। और 85 नंबर की ग्रेस से इसकी रैंक लाखों आगे चली गई होगी और एक नॉर्मल बच्चा लाखों रैंक पीछे गया है। ना जाने ऐसा कितने रिजल्ट्स के साथ हुआ है, इसीलिए इस बार कट ऑफ इतना हाई दिख रहा है।
He explained how grace marks inflated ranks. For example, a student scoring 368 marks received 85 grace marks, boosting their score to 453 and significantly jumping their rank. Now, time determination issues, students signed the OMR sheet at 2 p.m. with the invigilator noting the time each hour. One student who signed at 2:06 p.m. alleged receiving 720 marks with grace marks despite a real score of 636. Now, what is the basis of this grace marks? The NTA cited a 2018 Supreme Court judgment for compensating the loss applicable to the National Law Admission Test involving digital issues, not a physical written test like NEET. For physical test, lost time should be compensated by giving extra time, not grace marks. Now, this appears to a strategy to benefit students at specific centers. Now, there are some additional anomalies on this. On May 5, the NTA stated that exams went well except at one school in Savai Madhopur, Rajasthan. The next day, they mentioned only one incident, omitting other centers. The additional 5 centers were revealed only after the results were released. Further, this raises few more questions on this. How did the NTA add 5 more centers to the list? How did the NTA decide to give grace marks? The physics question issue. A physics question stating atoms of each element are stable and emit their characteristic spectrum was challenged. NTA received 13,373 challenges to provisional answer key. Due to the differences in NCERT textbooks, the NTA decided that 2 options were correct. Now, the questions that are raised on this is, who are these subject experts who believe radioactive elements are stable? And on what basis were the 2018 textbooks arbitrarily chosen for the 2024 exam? Impact of grace marks on the ranks. A student scoring 695 out of 720 was ranked somewhere around 3,300, while another student scoring 691 received grace marks, raising their score to 696 and their rank to 2,700, inflating their rank by 1,300 positions. Now, the allegations of corruptions are coming in on this. Audio clips suggest that seats at the Patna Government Medical College were sold for 8 lakh rupees with instructions on manipulating OMR sheets to improve scores for unanswered questions. This scam appears to be a well-orchestrated scheme involving massive corruption. Coming to the conclusion and the demands that have been put up, this scam has severely impacted the future of many students. Immediate actions are needed on this. Recalculate the ranks by removing the grace marks for the physics question and the illegal grace marks for the time loss. Conducting the test again at the 6 centers to give the 1,563 affected students a fair chance. Ordering a CBI investigation into this scam, which likely involves thousands of crores. People are requesting the Prime Minister that he should take an investigation as soon as possible to ensure the justice for all the students. For more such latest news and updates, subscribe to Daily Salar Digital.